Hi, tear Hello everybody, today it is lashing with rain, so we're in the shed. The reason we're in the shed is because this morning we started in and we dipped all of our ewes and our ewe lambs. So when they're dipped, they need to stay inside if it's raining. And unfortunately, the day we chose to dip, it is pelting down. So the good news is, with this shed, we hadn't actually got it power hosed out yet. So this is the shed that we did our lambing in. It's on a certain amount of calving. It'll be all power hosed and disinfected before there's any more sheep go into it for the winter. But we haven't got around to doing that yet, so I'm not too bothered about letting them stay in here for a few more hours. I think it's to stop raining at midnight, and that's when I'm gonna come and let them out. This is actually something I haven't done before. I have only really been keeping sheep for 5 or 6 years, and up until very recently I wouldn't have had the numbers to justify dipping my sheep. There once was a dip on the farm, but I filled it in for safety concerns because it was sort of old-fashioned, and you know, I didn't really have enough use for it. So today we got Kelan Savage in to do dipping with his mobile dip trailer. We dip sheep primarily to kill skin parasites, so lice, keds, ticks, and the big one would be scab. So scab is a notifiable disease, so if we have scab in our flock, we have to notify the Department of Agriculture. It's that serious. There's only 2 known ways, to the best of my knowledge, to treat scab. One of them is an OrganoPhosphate dip, which these guys got today, and another one is ivermectin injection. The reason OrganoPhosphate dip is strongly favoured is because there's a risk of resistance to ivermectin as a wormer. It's a very popular wormer, a very effective wormer. So if we were to use it to treat scab, we would probably run into problems down the line more quickly with resistance. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I have no scab in my flock, but this is a really good way of preventing it. But one of the primary reasons that we're dipping our sheep is to avoid them getting itchy and therefore being more likely to get on their back over the winter. We don't want them getting on their back and getting stuck, and anybody who's been watching my channel knows that that is something that can happen. When they get stuck, they can lie there until they die. It is a pretty horrendous way to go, and you need to constantly keep watching for it, but this is a really good way of preventing it. Now, the dipping process, I like to think of it as giving your newborn child a bath. They're gonna hate it. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. There's no pretending that these sheep enjoy it, but I can guarantee it is the best way of keeping them right. Especially going into the winter, you don't want them to have too many things. They're gonna be going out with a ram in about a month's time, the older ones anyway, and I'll not really want to touch them for a while. I want to leave them alone to do their thing, and I want to make sure there's no illnesses following them in. That's why I've treated a lot of their feet today. You might see a few limping. That's because they've had a pedicure and they've got some antibiotics if they needed it. And because I've trimmed their feet back, they're walking on, you know, softer skin, probably skin with a little bit of scald or foot rot on it. I had a little bit of that. I've had a little bit of a problem with that this year. It's been a very, very wet year. So there's a few lying down looking a bit sorry for themselves, but I promise you the reason for that is I have given them the treatment, and again, short-term pain, long-term gain. They will benefit from that. Now there's about 200 sheep in this shed at the moment. There's another 70 or so in the shed down below that belong to my neighbour. There's also the rams. They were done separately so they don't get in and get these ewes pregnant ahead of time. Although who doesn't like a little early lamb? The ewe lambs are mixed with the ewes at the moment. So the ewe lambs, you may have seen my short video where I was giving them their vaccines, and they will be going to the ram in November. In maybe a fortnight's time, they'll actually be getting shorn. So I need to check. I don't know how long I have to wait after I dip them before I can shear them for my safety, because I don't want to be in contact with OrganoPhosphate for too long while shearing. I was putting up a video of that at the time. Apologies, I am full of the cold. And enjoy. Thanks for watching.